Ready?
You like sunglasses on? What?
I accidentally hit it. I was like,
Are we on?
oh, we're on. I went to I went to say, okay, I'm about to count, and my finger actually accidentally
So
touched
no
it.
countdown?
So no countdown, no nothing.
No
We're
Wayne's World? What was it?
Wayne's World, yeah, the 5, 4, 3. You know? But none of that. Now we're just live, and this
Explain
is
that again, though, how you were explaining this to me. Because I have a song to sing to everybody today. Yeah. And Ziggy, and so we are starting because, first of all, Ziggy's been very busy at his regular job, so Ziggy's a little frazzled today.
No, this was just, this was just my finger, because it's a touchpad.
Yes.
My finger accidentally
I got you.
Skimmed on the touchpad and changed everything.
So because Ziggy was busy all week, we couldn't prepare a last week on ZUNDAY.
Right.
Right. So this week we decided. Well, I decided I'm basically doing this in my apartment like a madman by myself. That I would start off. That I would start the program off with a song today. Oh yeah. So Ziggy was going to give me a countdown, so that he didn't have a visual cue with his finger when we did eventually get on. What am I doing? Vamping?
Yeah, I just wanted to check something.
Oh, okay. So, but we have a great show for you today, but I'm not ready to get to that yet because,
yeah, right. So,
yeah, the Wayne's World thing.
So basically, he wanted to open with, can we say what you're opening with? Can I say it?
Oh, I'm going to be singing the ZUNDAY theme song.
Right, he wanted to open with the Sunday theme song, so he wanted it to be...
ZUNDAY.
What did I say?
I think you said Sunday.
I might have. The ZUNDAY theme song. So he wanted it to be, we go live, and then he starts singing, and he goes, cue me when we're live. And I didn't want to do this on camera.
Yes.
So I said, we should do like Wayne's World, where they count from 5, but you only say 5, 4, 3, and then the 2 and the 1 is silent.
Yes.
And I said, I'm going to go live on 3. You count the 2 seconds in your head, and you start singing. Except for, as I was about to tell him, okay, I'm going to count now, my finger accidentally grazed the button that switches us from that Funny Books logo screen to being live. And I had to just be like, we're live.
Plus, I've never seen Wayne's World.
Plus, like every good movie, that's hilarious.
Yes.
When Wayne's World came out, he just decided to watch Poseidon Adventure again.
Every Sunday is going to have me saying the movie I haven't seen that you're referencing, probably.
And then I say, when that came out, you decided to watch
Poseidon Adventure again. Yes, well, funny that you should mention Poseidon Adventure, because it might come up. Did you lower the air conditioner? Did you make it hotter? Because I was trying to make it like the David Letterman studio. I came in super early and put it on way low.
Yeah, I walked in, and it was an ice box in there.
Can you go put it a little lower?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I put it up.
It's warm in
here.
And
then before we went on, I put it back down.
Okay, good. So it should cool down in here. Yeah. Should we? Okay. So anyway, the song.
The song.
I mean, I was ready to go, and now I'm all.
Hold on.
I'm all cavaled.
You ready? No. You ready?
Yeah. ZUNDAY, 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 streaming from Funny Books every Sunday. ZUNDAY, 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 starring Sonny, Steve, and Ziggy. Meet Sonny Steve, he's the captain of the ship, while Ziggy is mostly around for antics. Why did they name it Funny Books anyway? Because antics need books is a really, really stupid name. It's a really stupid name. ZUNDAY, ZUNDAY, macaroni, comic books and nonsense every Sunday. ZUNDAY, ZUNDAY, Ziggy and Steve. It's on YouTube, not MTV. On today's show, we will talk about the Jets. Perhaps we will even get to see Dottie, my pet. Then we will talk about Captain Conti and a bunch of other captains who are more famous in history. More famous than Sonny Steve.
No one's more famous.
ZUNDAY, ZUNDAY, Gabingy. TGIZ, thank God it's Ziggy. Funny books, comics on YouTube. Not really sponsored by you. Don't you dare miss a single episode of ZUNDAY. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent.
I like singing
that got
the song.
really long.
I like singing it live because I could do the original verse every week and come up with a specific verse for the episode.
That's true. That's good.
It's easy to write.
I do want to point out that you actually did the thing from Wayne's World that was the joke in the movie.
What?
So the joke in the movie was they count down from 5, and then it goes live at 3, you know?
Yeah.
And then you do the 2 count, and then you start. But Wayne and Garth, right?
Yeah.
Kept visually doing the 2 and the 1 count to be like,
Oh, really? Did I do that?
yeah, absolutely. When I got to 3 and then switched it, you went,
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah.
and then
As I say in every episode of Sunday, I am not a professional.
It's the exact joke they made in the movie.
Well, there you go. And I haven't even seen the movie. I said I didn't even need to see the movie.
No.
I already know the joke. So anyway, I'm Sunny Steve, at least for the summer, right? And I'm also known as...
I'm voting for Sunny Steve always.
Yeah? I like being Sunny Steve, especially in the summer. Maybe someday I'll be Sunny Steve permanently. And I'll have a permanent summer here. Also known as Captain Conti of the Good Ship Funny Books, and we'll talk about that today, about Captain Conti and the origin of the Good Ship Funny Books. And here he is, the Gilligan to my skipper, the man who puts the Z in Zunday and the antics in Tixney books, the friendly face behind the Funny Books counter every Zunday, noon to 5, unless there's a home Jets game, which we will talk about on today's show.
Or a random trip, which is also happening.
Oh,
in
I
a
do
week
not
or
know
2.
about this.
Yep.
A guy who thinks that only things that are terrible. And most importantly, Funny Book's first customer of all time, TGIZ, a man who needs no introduction, but he's getting one. It's Funny Book's first customer ever, Ziggy.
Gabingi!
Exactly.
I thought I was a man who does need an introduction.
Oh, what did I say, doesn't?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to say does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
well,
going to say,
yeah.
I'm Sunny Steve, and a man who needs an
Yeah,
introduction.
right. I audibled at the last second who doesn't, but you're getting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking on my feet there. And also, our guest star, Dottie.
She's right there.
Wow. Hi, Dottie. Dottie's here. So the line in the song about perhaps you will get to see Dottie, my pet, and here she is, over there. Camera's over there. You take after me, don't you? It's over there.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Here.
Attack it.
Are you ready to sit here yet?
The kaiju of mini books. That's Dottie, the kaiju of mini books.
Yes. So there's a lot to do on today's show. Let's start off with corrections from last week. Again, Ziggy's been busy, so I did all the prep myself today. No slideshow by Ziggy, but I will have a visual slide, so old school,
Okay.
right? Props, you know. So last week I said that we started off with you saying there were 6.
We've already got some.
It's got to be about my song. Oh, where'd she go? Oh, she's going in. She's going in.
She's going into mini books. I'll help her.
Wow. How the hell?
Mini books first customer ever, Dottie.
Good job, Dottie. I wish this door opened.
I know.
Oh, I got to make. I will make that door will open.
That door's gonna swing open.
You
will not be able to. Keep
I will
it
not
closed.
do any more financial business until I make this door open. How's that sound? Anything to not do financial business.
Our good friend Rob Martin wants to know if you've ever seen a movie. Yes, he's seen Poseidon Adventure.
I saw Poseidon Adventure and King Kong, the original.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't really get to see new movies, although I will talk about a movie I did get to see by the end of this episode if we ever get to anything we're supposed to do today.
Right.
Okay, so the corrections from last week.
And Bruce Wayne's eclectic parrot is requesting more singing.
Wow. Well, listen, you will get more singing at Funnyrama 6, that's for sure. Hopefully we'll get to talk about that.
Is that the full name?
Funnyrama 6, Bride of Funnyrama 5, It's Alive.
Yes.
October 13th, it's a Sunday. We'll talk about that if we get a chance. We have plenty of time to talk about that. There's more important things like we started this conversation with the Ed Brubaker discussion about Fatale. You said there were 6 graphic novels. I corrected you to 7. There are 6. And then I said, perhaps it is Criminal. And yes, Criminal does.
She couldn't find anything she wanted to buy.
Can she get out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Good job. Excellent work there. Excellent work. Uh-oh, you going? Okay, I'll hold this. If you want to jump down, I'll hold this.
Do you want to?
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Go ahead.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, she just wants to smell you. You got lemon bro on you.
And she needs it. Oh, there you go.
Okay, so there's 7 criminal graphic novels, but they're actually now collected in the hardcover.
Yeah.
By the way, if you keep your prices the same on ladders, last week I said it was an average of 35%
It's
off.
30.
It's 30. You checked the math too?
I didn't have to. I already knew.
Oh, I did the math. It's
Sometimes I get tired of correcting you on camera every time.
I'm usually pretty good at math. And also, John Byrne, just to add to what I said last week about John Byrne and X-Men 111, I said that might have been his first issue. He actually began co-plotting the X-Men with Chris Claremont in Uncanny X-Men 111 through 143, the greatest X-Men run, in my opinion, of all time. But he also worked on Uncanny 108 and 109. I didn't look any further into that. He worked on them. He might have, done some...
Like penciling?
Yeah, yeah. My favorite stuff on last week's Zunday was the last week on Zunday.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get to hear the music when
we play a video here for you, we can't hear the video. We just have to...
Right, so I got to go home and watch it, and it has carnival music in the background.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical. Also, there was a segment where I had my blindfold on, I guess, and you were doing stuff. I didn't know that was going on. That was pretty funny too. Yep. But the worst part about last week's episode of Zunday was when Ziggy opened his Yoo-Hoo without shaking it. I
did. I did.
In front of the entire Yoo-Hoo community, you have shamed us. But you're going to get another shot at it today because season 2 of Zunday is sponsored by Yoo-Hoo cans.
Yoo-Hoo.
As opposed to the
fake
season
sponsored.
1,
Fake sponsored.
Fake sponsored. Not sponsored.
Yes.
And so
for legal reasons, we are fake sponsored.
But if you had time this week, if you weren't busy, I was going to have you do a slow motion of you opening the can.
And you going,
yeah, no! Yeah, yes, I wanted that. Maybe you could get time
we can still do that.
Yeah.
Once this project is done.
Yeah, and also last week's sideways segment. By the way, we have a sideways segment at some point.
Yes.
The camera will go sideways. You don't have to tell us, because if we see the comment, we're going to see it sideways.
Right. Yeah.
And we know it happens. We can't stop it from happening. But last week,
we do have a plan to stop it, which is get a different camera.
Yes. Yeah. Get a web camera. You want to get over? You want to sit here?
Which we will, at some point, do.
Why don't you stay over here? Okay, so, but last week, we were sideways for 4 minutes.
Were we?
Yeah, we were sideways for 4 minutes.
I didn't look at this. Yeah. That means I didn't look for comments for at least 4 minutes.
Yeah, and also, it was 48 minutes in last week, towards the end of the show, and the week before it was 22 minutes in. So
right, well, because
it's when you start the camera.
I think if it's consistent at all, it's consistent with when I start the camera.
Yeah, so you must have started the camera a full 20 minutes before the other one.
It's possible.
And I've been thinking a lot about Zunday and what Zunday is. What is Zunday, right?
So I think about what Zunday is.
Right.
And it's not a chocolate cake.
Well, we are a comic book store.
Yeah.
So, people, I think, are expecting us to talk a lot about comic books.
And we talk a little bit about comic books.
It reminds me of Action Figure Kingdom, my own comic book, by the way. My own comic book started out as a superhero comic book with humor.
Yeah.
It is now a humor comic with superheroes.
Right.
So Zunday was originally conceived as a comic book show with nonsense. Now I feel like it's more of a nonsense show with some comic books.
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to...
That's because we're a couple of nonsense people.
We are nonsense people.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be a good, band duo name for us, the Nonsense People.
Sure, I'm a nonsense person.
Yeah. Well, you're getting a shirt. There's a shirt being made for you.
Can't wait.
You can't remember?
Oh, I remember.
And now, as the song said, as the introduction said, that Ziggy is behind the Funny Books counter every Sunday, noon to 5, right after Zunday. Ziggy will be behind the counter, except when the Jets have a home game or Ziggy has something else going on, apparently. So let's. I figured you're a big Jet fan. I was going to tell you.
Steve went to Florida, and I got jealous. So now I need to touch base in Florida.
I did mean to tell you to wear your Jets hat today, and I did forget. Is that not a Jets hat? What is that?
No.
Okay. So Ziggy's a big Jets fan, season ticket
holder.
holder.
This is a Kennedy Space Center hat.
Okay, well, I forgot. That's one thing I forgot, and my clipboard. Anyway, Ziggy is a big Jets fan. He has Jet season tickets. Yes, you can, if you're a Jet fan, come in and commiserate with Ziggy over the Jets. You know, it's going to be a big season. We could just talk football in general. Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. You know,
To bring it back to Zunday,
yeah.
I don't think we ever gave this answer on the show.
Yes.
But I received, what was it, from your mom?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the helmet.
A signed Jets helmet.
Yes.
That on the show we weren't sure who the signature was.
Right.
But after the show we did figure out it is signed by Tim Tebow.
Yes. How does the Neil go? Is it this?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I think so.
Yes. So I now have a signed Tim Tebow
Yeah.
helmet.
And is that a regulation helmet? That's a smaller helmet, correct? That's not regulation.
I mean, it looks like a regular
Is it?
helmet.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, cool.
I mean, it could be for people with
Yeah,
small heads.
he had a minute there.
30 seconds.
Would you take him or what's his name, Zach Wilson from last year? Who'd you rather have?
Who's
Probably Zach Wilson. You think
Probably
so? Tim Tebow has more heart, probably.
Zach. Probably Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
But
Boy, the Jets have been through it. Well, now they have Rodgers. We'll see if he doesn't get hurt. 4 plays in this year.
yeah. It'll be 5 plays
It's
this year.
definitely going to be fun to watch. So the opening game, we don't have to worry about Ziggy working because it is a Monday night, September 9th, and it is in San Francisco.
Thanks to Rodgers, there's a lot of money in that
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Well, thank you, Aaron Rodgers. Now I get to have Ziggy working every Sunday because of Aaron Rodgers. Don't get hurt. Well, I don't
Have
know
we
how
reached
many
the point where my show sheet's different?
No.
Okay.
Your show sheet's the same as mine. But if Aaron, they can't flex the games anyway. Even if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, most of these games are probably set.
They
in
don't
stone.
flex till the second half of the season.
Okay, so really quickly, the first home game is a Thursday night.
Yes.
Yes, so you're out of that's New England
Right.
without Bill Belichick. Then oh my God, this is the old script because I put the times in here, and this doesn't have the times. Does yours have the times? Yes. No,
No,
yours
mine
doesn't have the times either.
Do we need the times?
I put because certain games are at night. Let's see if I can remember.
Well,
So Sunday, September 29th is Denver. And I don't have the time in here, unfortunately. Then there's another Monday and then a Thursday. Halloween night.
yeah.
By the way, the Monday game is October 14th, the day after Funny-Rama 6.
Right.
So Funny-Rama 6 is the 13th. Monday night, you're playing Buffalo. Thursday, Halloween night, you're
I call
playing...
them Buffalo.
You're playing Houston with their C.J. Stroud quarterback, right? And that's on Halloween. Will you dress up for that game? It's on Halloween?
No.
You won't. Okay.
What am I going to dress up as?
I don't know, just for fun. Just to have
But
fun.
as what?
Whatever. They go put on a funny hat. Who cares? You know, something.
For me, a funny hat isn't dressing
How
up.
about wear a big Hulk Hogan scarf? You know, whatever.
Then I got to get a Hulk Hogan scarf.
So what? Probably they're probably like $10 at
Can
Party City.
Can I go in the Halloween costume dressed as a Jets fan?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be dressed like that. In fact, it should be fun. Halloween should be fun at a football game. Let's face it. Although I'd rather go on a Sunday at 1:00. Then Sunday, November 17th, there's a Colts game. Sunday, December 1st, Seahawks. I think that one's at night. One of these games is at night. Sunday, December 22nd, and Sunday, January 5th, Miami. So Ziggy will be missing some Sundays, but we got Kevin the Kid for that.
We got Kevin the Kid.
At least through December 1st, I believe.
And
we might
unlike
be losing him
when
on
Steve
December.
was away, I see no reason why there can't still be a Zunday with Kevin the
Oh,
Kid.
yeah, well, I meant to talk to you about that. Now, Kevin, in high school, was involved in the play and on the tech end of it, of the play. So I do believe that you can show Kevin how to
it's
do
super
this,
easy.
right? Because I can't.
Well-
I don't think I could learn. I'd like to learn this, by the way, but I don't know if I can.
Well,
Um,
it'll be easier if we get the webcam.
so I'll do the show with Kevin on a Sunday where there's an early jet game.
Yeah.
Okay. Also,
or if I'm in Florida.
I also checked, just for Funny-Rama purposes, about the Giants schedule to see if there was a home Giants game on Sunday, October 13th. And there is. But it's at 8:20 at night versus the Bengals.
There you go. There you go.
No conflict, no football conflict. And someone said we had Funny-Rama on Saturday last year. Is that true?
I could be. I don't remember, but sounds right.
Yeah?
Why not?
I think I might have had it on Saturday to avoid football Sunday, but a lot of families have football on Saturday because that's when high school games are. That's when youth football games are. So I'd rather have it on the Sunday. And now that there's no local football conflicts, I feel really good about the day that we picked for Funnyrama 6. Bride of Funnyrama 5. It's alive. Sunday, October 13th. You'll be hearing a lot about that.
You know what it should be called?
What's that?
It should be called Funnyrama 6, the ultimate ZUNDAY.
Oh, that's not bad. Well, are we doing a ZUNDAY on Funnyrama Day?
I mean, Funnyrama, it kind of is just one big ZUNDAY.
We could have Amanda on ZUNDAY
Before
Funnyrama. We should do ZUNDAY live at Funnyrama.
ZUNDAY live at Funnyrama, but is Funnyrama going at Sunday at 11 a.m.?
Well, I mean, ZUNDAY, Funnyrama generally, I think, starts at 1. I think Milling Around starts at noon.
Yeah.
And the Lake Show starts. So there might be some conflict between the Lake Show and ZUNDAY. You know, we'll have to get the two creative groups together and negotiate something.
We'll figure it out.
How about if ZUNDAY appears on the Lake Show? I could get the twin to be me in one of the instances.
He could dress as Sonny Steve and do ZUNDAY.
Yeah, he could do ZUNDAY, and I could do the Lake Show.
Yes.
All right, so we do conceive of things. Here.
Yes. All right. What's
Oh, also last week, you seem to be kind of like scoffing at the fact that Mini Books was award winning. You said, "Oh, my smash burgers were award winning last week."
No, I was just thinking about the idea that people say things are award winning.
Yes.
And you can make that up.
Well, I brought the proof that Mini Books and
I'm
also
not the camera, Steve.
Also swimming. Well, I'm showing you first. Swimming. Am I on? Yeah. So you can see here that Mini Books and Swimming Challenged Robin with Surfs Up Batman. This is us accepting our awards at ToyCon New Jersey.
Yep.
First ever costume there. First and second place. So there you go. There's proof of that. And here, look at this. This is us.
More costumes.
This is us from Free Comic Book Day this year. And this is when I was calling Funny Books the Starship Funny Books.
Yes.
For a month when we were running this kind of Star Trek thing for Free Comic Book Day because it was on Star Wars Day.
Right.
And we wanted to be...
Fake Star Wars Day.
Fake Star Wars Day.
That's a good ZUNDAY segment.
We didn't talk about that?
I don't think so.
We weren't doing ZUNDAY during... No, yeah. Okay, so next year. Yeah, that's a good subject.
That's something we could just talk about in general. We don't have to wait for...
Right. Not today, though. I already have too much planned.
Right.
So we were doing this Starship Funny Books thing for like a month. It's
Right.
still on our banner.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. Of course, this is Captain Conti of the Starship Funny Books.
Mm-hmm.
First Officer Ziggy.
Of the Starship Funny Books.
Of the Starship Funny Books, and then the crewman. I mean, would you call her a yeoman? Would you call her a lieutenant? Lieutenant Anna.
Lieutenant. She's
Anna,
a lieutenant.
And
presumably the communications officer.
yes, and also Kevin is he can't be security. What can?
No, he's chief engineer.
Chief engineer Kevin. Yeah,
Chief
good.
engineer
And security person.
Kevy or
Yeah.
Mr. Kev.
Yes, KTK.
Like
Kevin.
Scotty, Mr. Scott.
Yes, Mr. KTK.
Mr.
So this ties into the next segment.
Zegment.
Oh, that's good
good.
That's good for Sunday. Hey Ziggy, honk if you like comics. By the way, update on this sign. I tried to take the I tried to take the Welcome to Paradise sign down. It is stuck to the building. I do believe our handyman Jim,
Like Gorilla Glue.
who we got to get Jim to come through the door randomly on every episode of Sunday. He's like the Kramer of Funny Books. Jim's the greatest guy. He knows how to fix anything. But I think he glued the sign above the door.
Why not?
He might have, because he's up there on a ladder sometimes. So I have to get him to unglue it. Is there such a thing as unglue?
Well, I guess you can just pry it off. Right?
Okay. So
what's you got more stuff?
yeah, but I am parched. What do you say we have a yoo-hoo?
Okay.
And let's just I'm gonna just stray from the Z. I thought today when I did this that a great part of the video of ZUNDAY, the ZUNDAY theme song, if we ever do record it, it should start with the cooler opening
It's showing
and the Z, and then us taking the Yoo-Hoos out. Right? There you go. Now listen.
Oh, look, hey.
Don't you...
No, today is the day of redemption.
Is that a Jewish holiday?
No.
Isn't that a Jewish holiday?
That's the day before Funny Rama. It's the Day of Atonement.
Oh, right. Day of Atonement.
Today is the Day of Redemption.
So let's...
Yom Yoo-Hoo.
I'm trying to get sponsored by them.
I know.
No, we're not really trying. You know, someday they'll want to sponsor us when maybe we will be on MTV.
They will come to us.
Yeah.
They will.
I was gonna say, and the song, on YouTube, not but eventually on MTV, but to like do a Destiny type of a thing.
Yoo-Hoo slushy.
No, I didn't put it in the freezer.
What?
My
Listen to
refrigerator is very cold.
This is a Yoo-Hoo slushy.
Yes, I keep my
feel
refrigerator
it.
very cold. So while we have this Yoo-Hoo, I would like to talk about our wonderful and amazing
Yoo-Hoo?
Anna.
Yes.
Anna, who
I
is
still think we should have on as a guest
Lieutenant Anna.
before she goes.
Anna is very busy. She's got a very busy social schedule. And remember, Anna once said that once she goes to college, she's done with everything in her previous life. But I think she's softened on that.
That's
stand a
why
little
we
bit.
have to get her on the show before
Yes.
she completely cuts us off.
We will not be seeing Anna on the show. However, you can see Anna for her final new comic day before she goes to college this week, August 21st. Anna will be behind the counter, generally midday, maybe like, maybe we'll have her in a little longer this Wednesday since it's her final new comic day. Anna came in a little while ago. I think she was a sophomore, so she just graduated high school. And she was always a customer here. I always liked her. She was always very pleasant. And she was a comic book fan. Her favorite was Harley Quinn, and she read a lot of like Gotham City Siren type stuff, you know. And then one time her mother actually asked if like Anna would love to work here, which was great because I was like, that'd be great, Anna's, I really like her. So ever since then she came on, and of course she does the first task of making 100 bags and boards, which is the first that's it. From then on, it's kind of a cakewalk here. You get ice creams and coffee sometimes. I told her not every job's going to be like this, but Anna works very hard here. All the customers seem to really love Anna, and why wouldn't you? And she's just done such a great job for us. She's fit in very well here, and we're going to miss Anna. I don't want to cry on television, but I am going to miss her. I don't know how people deal with this.
Let's open our Yoo-Hoos.
Yes,
and
this
then
is for
cheers
Anna.
her.
Yes, we're going to cheers Anna. You remember, you can catch Anna for a couple more days. I would say probably this new comic day, maybe a Friday or a Saturday of next week. And Anna's not going too far. She's going to an undisclosed location for college, but she's going close enough to where she will be back mostly like on holidays and stuff. And then
It's actually the bunker from the beginning of Get Smart.
Here is to Anna. And so we're gonna miss her, and it's gonna be it's gonna be different here without her. I'm gonna have to do a lot more work now.
Probably.
Yeah, that's gonna stink. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to do over our Yoo-Hoo, was talk about our wonderful Anna. And now let's talk about this captain's hat.
Oh,
You don't have that
oh,
captain's
okay.
hat discussion, which I didn't want you to be aware of this too much. Now we have time for this.
We have time.
So
It's kind of funny though. So it's 11:30.
yeah,
Which is a little more, because we try to end before we actually open at noon. So we're a little more than halfway. Dottie's right there.
okay.
We're a little more than halfway through, and I feel like the show hasn't even started yet.
I feel like we've been talking for an hour.
I feel like all we like this is like what you were talking about, how like what is ZUNDAY?
Yes, yeah.
And like I feel like we have like real segments, that are about the store or about comics, and then we pepper that in with nonsense.
Yeah.
Good job, girl.
Nonsense, womp womp. She's
Yeah.
like the sound effects person. Good job,
And
Dottie.
I feel like we haven't gotten any real segments yet.
Yes,
It's funny, which
listen,
isn't a bad thing.
I-
It's just really funny.
Yes, so I'm probably maybe over prepared actually for today because
You're always over prepared.
I'm trying. I have a better idea of what I want to do with Sunday now, and so today I have a kind of a fun segment prepared.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And I'm leaving you out of it. You know?
I'm coming in fresh.
So this is about this captain's hat. So
Yes.
and it's kind of a wandering thing I wrote here because there's a lot going on with this captain's hat. First of all, I got this hat when I was on my recent sabbatical just to have fun as the captain of the Good Ship Funny Books. I figured I'd keep it behind the counter, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I want to debut it on ZUNDAY because we need content.
Yep.
And then I wore it, and then you did a screen capture of it, and then the next week I wore it again, right?
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's part of ZUNDAY.
Right. The host of ZUNDAY wears the captain's hat.
Well, I do, that's for sure.
Well, you're the host.
Am I going to be replaced?
No, I'm saying that's.
I have to get a little.
I'm saying that would be adorable. There's Steve, the proprietor of Funny Books.
Yes.
Steve, the creator, artist, and writer of Action Figure Kingdom.
Action Steve.
Well, there's Funny Steve, there's Action Steve, but
Funny Steve.
But I'm just talking. I'm purposely leaving those off.
Yes.
Just to talk about, just to describe the different states of Steve.
Yes, yes.
So Steve, the proprietor of Funny Books, Steve, the creator of Action Figure Kingdom, and then there's Steve, the host of ZUNDAY.
Yes.
And as the host of ZUNDAY,
Yes.
Steve wears the captain's hat.
Yeah, so and it's like, to me it's very Kevin Smithish how he has a costume or had a costume.
Right.
Whenever he would appear somewhere. And look, I'm not the biggest
And
Kevin. I'm not
I
the
think that's
biggest
just how he
Kevin-
dresses.
I'm not the biggest Kevin Smith fan in the whole world, right? But I don't have anything against the guy. I just
You heard it here first. Steve hates Kevin
he's
Smith.
a Jersey guy, we got to stick together here. But yeah, I always thought it was weird that he had a costume, basically.
I do think that was is just how he dresses.
The same every time? Well, hey, we had, remember one of our customers wore the same thing every single time? Black suit, black tie,
Right.
white
Yeah,
shirt.
yes.
We shouldn't give him away.
No.
But Albert Einstein did that. It stops your decision-making process in the morning.
Bruce Banner.
Yeah. Hey, I'm doing that with...
This is a comic book show, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner, yes.
White shirt,
White
purple
shirt,
pants.
purple pants. Yeah, that's
They show it in one of the comics. He has a whole closet full of them.
yeah, probably a Peter David or a John Byrne, maybe. Someone who's got to overly explain everything.
Might have been a Stan Lee issue.
So when I was in Florida on my sabbatical, I went to a souvenir shop to get everyone a little something.
Yeah.
And there was a hat display, and this was the only white captain's hat out of all the hats. Everything else was a blue army hat. It's the only one.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just picked it up and I put it, and it was perfectly adjusted to my head, which has been rumored to be larger than a lot of people's heads.
Right.
And it fits so well that I kept walking around getting souvenirs for everyone. I almost walked out the door with this hat on my head. In fact, I went to Food Town the other day with this hat on by mistake. And I was in Food Town with this captain's hat on. Now, so anyway, this is now a part of ZUNDAY.
Remember after Free Comic Book Day, we went to the restaurant, that Mexican restaurant with everybody?
Yeah.
And completely forgot that I had those ears on my head?
Yeah, you were Spock. You had pointy ears on. Yeah, why is everyone looking at you? Yeah. Well, that's what I was wondering at Food Town. Well, I'm pretty popular. Everyone's looking at me. So anyway, the whole captain thing goes back to me, not wanting to be the title of owner.
Right.
I'm not really a big fan of that title. It's kind of distant and removed from what's going on at the Good Ship, which is what this is, right? So I always would say I was the captain, right? And in fact, if the merchant processing, when we call them, I know I can't stop looking at you.
That's okay.
When we call merchant processing and they have questions that they ask you to make sure it's you. One of them is, what's your title? It's actually captain with them. It's captain. So if they ever call, say captain. So that's where it kind of started, because I'm more hands-on. So and I'm like a captain. I stock the ship, right? I hire the crew, Shanghai sometimes. Shanghai, the crew.
You say make it so.
I say make it so. Yeah, I set the course, right? I steer away from the icebergs and other hazards of the comic book industry to the best of my ability. And hopefully all of our passengers who are the fans of funny books have a great experience and want to go on another journey with us. How's that sound?
Life in the store is a journey, that's for sure.
It is a journey. So, but in 2012, the whole captain of the ship thing kind of came together bigger when we did Funnyrama 4,
The Voyage
Home.
Voyage Home, yeah.
Right? So the Voyage Home had a Star Trek subtitle, but it was a kind of a return to the origins of funny books, and there was kind of a boat theme to it. In fact, I have here.
Do you have the
program?
The program.
Yes.
For Funnyrama 4, where I drew this drawing of the Good Ship funny books with a little representation of every member of the Funny Force.
Yes.
And every joke or
iconic
character
moment.
or iconic moment that had taken place in funny books.
Yes.
Or things that anything we're a fan of, particularly a fan of, like that's why you have Godzilla and Silver Surfer.
Yeah, and Acrobat and Sparkinator on that boat.
Acrobat and Sparkinator. You had just kind of gotten started.
Oh no, I had been working on that for a while.
And
all the club people are on that boat. Silver Surfer, because we had the mannequin previously in the window.
Professor Turk E.
Yeah. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
When I was coming up with this last night, I was like, I know I got a copy of this somewhere, and that was it. So anyway, so for that whole event, I came up with the idea to do a parody song of the Good Ship Lollipops, and I wrote the Good Ship Funny Books.
Right.
And we performed it live.
I'm not going to pay attention to the rest of this show. I'm just going to be looking at this picture.
Well, no one's watching us. They're watching the cat, obviously.
I know.
Look at her.
I know. She's...
I really should be taking a photograph of her right now so I could post it.
I would do it, but my phone is the camera.
Yeah, and I don't want to divert. We're already late, actually, because I have something to do here. So I wrote the Good Ship Funny Books.
Yeah.
We performed it as an ensemble, the Lake Hiawatha Think Tank, the group of friends of our friends that put together.
Every one of which can be found somewhere on this drawing.
And then we reprised the song again at Funnyrama 5, It's Alive, 2 years ago. And we all sang it again. And we will sing it at Funnyrama 6, Bride of Funnyrama 5, It's Alive, because we're probably doing medley. I have enough songs to do an album at this point, actually. So, but there will be some.
The Funny Books album would be amazing.
Well, I always wanted to do it. I wanted to call it Feeling Rad, R-A-D-D, because I have a picture of me on a beach with the Silver Surfer mannequin from like the '90s, where I have long hair and I'm like it's blowing in the wind.
Great.
I know. I want to do it.
We have to do it.
I do. Maybe if I can get it together and give it away at Funnyrama, that'd be fantastic.
So good. The problem is that you can't give away a CD anymore. Nobody can play it.
And I can play it.
Oh yeah, you can play it. Nobody else.
Plus,
can.
The recording studio isn't like I don't know if they're still recording over there. But anyway, I've been working the Good Ship into our posts, our social media posts. I've been calling it the Good Ship, and I got the captain's hat and everything. So I thought, and not only that, this hat was meant to be, if I could talk about, because I found it on top of this pile of blue hats, the only hat that fit my head perfectly.
Yeah.
Clearly, I was meant to find this hat, and ironically, I love when you find something and it's meant to be. It could be a person, it could be, just some anything that's meant to be. I always tell the story.
A new comic shop opening up down the road from your house.
Oh, I thought you were going to say down the road from Funny Books.
No, I'm talking about when I found this store 32 years ago.
Yeah. So I read the Horatio Hornblower books when I was growing up, and I reread them and stuff. And anyway, it's a British naval officer, and it's during the Napoleonic Wars. And actually, the funny thing is, it ties into even what I'm talking about. He's Captain Horatio Hornblower. Captain James T. Kirk is in part based on Captain Horatio Hornblower. Series of books written by C.S. Forrester.
Is it Captain Horatio T. Hornblower?
They never did that, but he's way different than Kirk. He's kind of wimpy in the beginning. He's very aristocratic, way different than Kirk, who's kind of fly by the seat of your pants guy. Anyway, there is a book that came with the Hornblower series called the Hornblower Companion. That is the maps that go along with all the books, so you can follow it where he went and stuff. And I lost it. And I would always stop at bookstores and look for this book, like no matter where I was, old bookstores and stuff. No one ever had it. So I'm in the give up mode, and I'm on vacation, and I passed this old bookstore, and I was like, let me stop anyway, like I'll never find it, just kind of a defeatist attitude going in. And I asked, and she's like, I think we have that book. And she referred me to a bookcase, like a tall, skinny bookcase, and there was a stack of books on top of the bookcase, horizontally stacked. And she goes, it's on that stack somewhere. It was the bottom book, and it was stuck to the bookcase, right? Clearly that was meant for me, that book. I looked for years for that book because that was the book meant for me.
You had to work for it.
Yeah, and this hat was meant for me, and now it is my go-to hat. I even wore it in a family portrait the other day, which is kind of weird. But
I saw that.
Yeah. But, so anyway, I have now come up with a, geez, I hope I could find, oh yeah. I hope I could find anything that I'm looking for. Okay, so, holy moly.
I have no idea what's going on.
I can't find the right script.
Is it not this?
Nope. You know what we should do? Let's table it. We'll pick it up next week. Let's pick it up next week.
Mine.
Those are yours. Let's table it.
After all that?
After all that. Let's table it.
What are you looking for?
My whole printout of the captains, which I worked very hard on.
Are you sure you printed it out?
Yep. But you know what? We have a lot to talk about for next Wednesday, and we have 15 minutes left. But I'm good. So it's kind of like a... oh, wait, you know what? Here it is. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, if you do that, though, that's going to easily be 15 minutes.
Yeah. So you want to continue it next week, the captain discussion?
Sure.
Okay. Well, we did the captain's hat discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it next week, because there's a lot of good stuff next week at Funny Books. This is going to be the boring part for non-comic book people, correct?
Well, I guess even
not as
even
good.
This.
Not as good as this was going to be. Hey, look. Looks like it's on my body.
That's your head. So silly.
Hi.
Oh my God. Are you actually planning on doing a top 24?
No, I am not. I am doing the top 10, but there are some honorable mentions that we have to talk about. So I just picked some out at the top here. So this is stuff that's coming out this Wednesday.
These are dishonorable mentions.
It's the 21st. I kind of like this month because the new comic days are on the 7s. 7, 14, 21.
Right.
Right? Because every Wednesday, it just
not the 28th.
And the 28th. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but it's just always better when it's like that. And if you are a comic book store owner, I'm sure if Sean's listening to this from Moose, that he does what I do, and you know what day of the week it is because you know what day Wednesday is. Wednesday's the 21st this week. So whenever someone says, when's Monday, you start at Wednesday and you go back 2 and you get it.
Right.
And that's how I figure out everything is by Wednesday. What did you want to mention something on Last Call before I get to
did
next
want to
Wednesday?
mention
Go ahead.
something on Last Call.
Go ahead.
As you know, Last Call is the books that are on order for us this week. We put in our final orders, and it is always best for you to get your orders in with us by Last Call. And every week on our Comic Hub system, which you can get to by going to funnyrama.com and clicking the customer portal button, and then go to the Last Call section. You can go on there and choose the books that you want that are on Last Call each week. Choose the covers you want. Choose what you want to subscribe to on an ongoing basis, and all that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. But this week I just wanted to point out, now as we have mentioned numerous times, we're very big Valiant fans.
Yeah,
here.
oh yeah.
Very big Valiant fans. Mm-hmm. And the publisher, Alien Books, has recently taken over. Ah! Whoa!
1080p. Don't forget. That was Sideways Segment, everybody. Did you catch it when it happened?
I think I did. I saw it in the corner of my eye. I think we got it right away. A little Tetris for you.
Was that what that was? I've never played. No, just kidding.
When Tetris
I'd
came
be
out,
great
he just
at
watched
that.
the Poseidon
You
Adventure
know,
again.
that's something I've always wanted to do because, you know, me, space,
Yeah.
Economaster,
Master of
Space.
Anyway, as we've said in the past, we are very big fans of Valiant Comics, going all the way back to the original iteration of it
Yes.
in the 90s.
Mhm.
But also,
Great stuff. Thanks to Jim
I've been
Shooter, really.
a really big fan of the more recent relaunch of it. I say relaunch; it's been over. I think that happened in 2012.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But most recently, the publisher Alien Books has taken over the publishing of Valiant Books, and they're not rebooting the universe, but they've been doing a bunch of little miniseries, all leading to a storyline called Resurgence of the Valiant Universe. And this is where they're saying, all right, if you're a new Valiant reader, or if you want to give Valiant Comics a try, this is the book to hop on.
Yeah.
It brings all their characters into it, like Exo Manowar, Eternal Warrior, Shadow Man, Master Dark,
Cool.
all that. And that book is on Last Call this week. If you've ever had any thought of be like, oh, what's the Valiant Universe about? Is this something I want to jump onto, give it a try? This is the book to do that with. Go for it.
Yes. Now, what we're talking about here is Last Call. We Funny Books is part of the Comic Cup.
I went through all that.
You did?
Yeah.
Comic Cup community. Oh, that's when I was doing this.
You were taking.
So
pictures.
they have until tonight.
You have until tonight. You have until
Tonight for Last Call.
Yeah.
Now this next segment is for next
I
Wednesday.
think you have until like 4 a.m. tonight. That's when it disappears.
Okay. Now, because I'm going to do this first thing in the morning when I get up. That's my Monday routine now. Sunday morning is preparing Sunday. So then there's next Wednesday. Now, next Wednesday, you can get those orders in whenever you want, really. But Ziggy will be starting to process.
We're getting a request not to get a new camera because Bruce Wayne's eclectic parrot says that's his favorite segment.
Sideways segment he
Sideways
likes?
segment.
I do like it too. He's right. Bruce Wayne's eclectic parrot is correct. That's hard to say.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that's harder than World War Tour.
Oh God.
Yeah. So anyway,
What is it? World
World War.
World Wall Tour. World Wall Tour.
Yeah, I'm working on a lacrosse thing called World War Tour. I don't know why I called it that.
Remember last week, World War V?
Oh yeah. It was a V.
It was a
V,
yeah.
and I thought it was 5.
Yeah. Well, it was vampire.
So anyway, next Wednesday you can order up through Wednesday. This is stuff that's coming out this Wednesday, the 21st. But keep in mind, we already have everything. So the earlier you order, the better shot you have of getting it. We can do it. And Ziggy's going to start processing at least the DC and the Image today. So if you can get your order in now, before you start processing, you always check the syncs. Right?
I always
the
check
app syncs.
Check that.
So if you get it in now, when we open, Ziggy, when he gets to it, he'll check your order, include it in what we're processing this week. Kevin will be in tomorrow to process the Marvel and everything else. And then if you get it in later, it's based on what's still on the shelf, right? So honorable mentions. Let me just do them really quick. Dark Knights of Steel All-Winter #2. It's Tom Taylor written, and this is the kind of Game of Thrones-ish DC story, the second one, and this is going to be an Aquaman origin story. So expect like Barbarian and Aquaman probably. The next one is Predator vs. Black Panther #1. That is written by Ben Percy, who's written some really good stuff, especially Wolverine stuff.
Are you telling me or are you telling them?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am telling you. 13 is...
I'm going to go get it right now.
13 is, you don't worry about the numbers. Deadpool #5 comes out this week. I did see the Deadpool movie, and I thought it was excellent. I really loved it. The opening credits were just... They should win an award for those opening credits when he's... I don't want to give anything away, but he's fighting a bunch of people with...
Yeah.
And the movie was just great. When someone puts something on, it was awesome. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, we'll talk about it later. It's still early. I'm sure people haven't seen it. Giant Size Thor is out this week, continuing the Marvel's Giant Size run. And these also have a reprint. This one has a reprint of Thor 365, and it's a Thor versus Hercules story, but it's told by Hercules, so it's gonna like lean towards Hercules being awesome, right? Then there's the Titans number 14. That's Tom Taylor also, and they're bringing Trigon in. And also, Destro is the Energon universe.
Yep.
It's kind of great. Every week there's an Energon book. I don't know if there's been a week without an Energon book.
There has to be.
Yeah?
Because they have. Oh no! Well, no.
They always have books going.
They have.
Yeah, maybe even a graphic novel.
They have 4 books going.
Yeah.
So I guess on the 5th week.
It's really Skybound is
Fifth
killing it.
Wednesday, yeah.
Maybe Skybound. Maybe they'd like to publish Action Figure Kingdom someday. They'd be a good partner. Venom War Carnage and Venom War Venomous. Venomous features the Anti-Venom and the Black Widow symbiote, which is a new thing. There's Daredevil Woman Without Fear. She's fighting the new Punisher. The new Punisher, not Frank Castle. The Miles Morales Annual, which is the part 6 of the 8-part Infinity Watch. Nightclub 2, Mark Millar stuff. His whole Netflix universe is being published by Dark Horse now. It's vampire superheroes. We might have the graphic novel.
3 minutes.
Dick Tracy, number 4, and that's by our buddy David Pepose.
Yes. Is it Pepo? Is it? I always said Pepos.
Pepose.
But again,
Our friend David Pepose. It's
I
fun to say
don't know.
Pepose. You're right.
That's what I always thought it was.
Yeah,
Pepos.
they're both fun to say. Okay, now let's do the top 10.
And Mark Millar is actually pronounced Mark Miller.
I know that. Yes. Okay. No, okay. I call him. What did I say? Millar.
Yeah, you always say Millar.
I'm calling him Millar. There's only one Miller in comics. It's Frank Miller. Get over it, Mark. Millar. All right, ready? The top 10.
I'm gonna find out if there's another Miller.
It's
comics.
only Frank Miller. You know? That's it. That's the only Miller. If you're another Miller,
What about-
change your name.
What about outside of comics?
Fine. That's
What about
fine.
comics adjacent?
Steve Miller, band?
What about the director of the first Deadpool movie, Tim Miller?
It's fine. Yeah. But
Deadpool.
not a comic book writer. You're talking about one of the greatest comic book writers of all time. Change your
I
name.
bet there's another writer out there.
I might get Kirby the Kid to change Kid Kirby to change his name because Jack Kirby. It's gonna be very confusing with him around here.
Call him Carby.
All right, are you ready for the top 10?
Top 10.
Hitting the funny book shelves this Wednesday,
Yes.
10 a.m. Number 10 will be the Red Coat. Number 5.
Red Coat from Ghost Machine.
Yeah, and
Image
featuring
Ghost Machine.
A young Albert
Speaking of
Einstein.
which,
yes,
real quick, Danny Ward, who was the from Valiant and Alien Books,
yeah.
there are retailer,
yes,
whatever that position is called.
yeah.
She just announced yesterday, she is now that position, the retailer person,
Yeah.
for Ghost Machine.
Okay.
So
good.
Congratulations to her.
Good for her. There's always a lot of movement in
Yeah.
the comic book industry at that level,
Yeah.
Okay, so you go, Zig.
Oh, then Gotham City Sirens,
Yep.
which is a weekly book. Is this saying we have?
We're restocking 1 and 2 this week also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Because it's weekly. It's taken me
Right.
a couple weeks to get them back in. So it's doing very well. Then Nightwing is number 8 this week. It's Tom Taylor.
Final storyline
By Tom
of
Taylor.
Tom Taylor's
Yeah, and
run.
Dick learns the truth. Don't cut that out. Learns the truth about his parents' deaths. Don't we already know this? They fall off a trapeze.
That's what we think we know.
Okay. Sorry. Rip. All right. Let's go.
Phoenix, number 2, part of the new X-Men relaunch.
Yes.
Written by Stephanie Phillips.
Yes.
Ooh, featuring Corsair.
Yes, Corsair.
Nice.
Now I had to do a little dive into Corsair. Because Corsair...
Do we have time for a dive into
Yes,
Corsair?
really quick. First appearance, Uncanny X-Men 104.
Yeah.
As the leader of the Starjammers. Now, this is when Dave Cockrum was drawing the X-Men. I looked into this. Apparently, Dave Cockrum had this group of characters called the Starjammers that he was pitching to Marvel to be a series. And Marvel wasn't doing it. So Dave Cockrum pitched it to Chris Claremont to include it into the X-Men, including his character Corsair, which is such a Dave Cockrum-looking character. He's got a headband. He's got the symmetrical red and black costume and stuff. And then later on, they decided to make him Cyclops' dad. Like, that's a major thing to be Cyclops' dad.
Sure.
This is a space pirate.
I mean, listen. Cable shows up, and then later on, they're like, hey, this is Cyclops' kid.
Yes, Yeah. Yeah, but it's funny to read that because it was just like, oh, they didn't know what to do with the character, so they decided to make him like Cyclops' dad. And then there's a whole backstory how he was in the military and stuff like that. We are running a little late.
What a life. See, this is the problem. Because, like, now we're going to go totally. But Cyclops' history is preposterous. Like, he discovers his powers when he and his brother are falling out of a plane.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not dead.
Not only that, in all these
And his dad, who I think was flying the plane that they went out of, fell out of.
Yeah, he was abducted by aliens.
He goes into space and becomes a space pirate.
Yes.
Well,
we don't have time for a deep dive into Corsair.
Both my children are mutants, and I just happen to be kidnapped into space to become a space pirate.
Yeah. I know. It's
ridiculous.
Bizarre. It's Chris Claremont, probably. You know, he's got a pirate thing going all the time. Night.
Also, my kids that fell out of a plane aren't dead.
Yeah. Well, that happens. Okay, then number 5 will be Batman Superman World's Finest.
World's Finest.
Which is the very first time the Trinity got together. And the Trinity is, of course, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Yes. Speaking of Wonder Woman 12, written by Tom King.
Yep.
My current favorite DC writer.
Oh, he's great. Nice guy, too.
Super nice guy. And
so is Tom Taylor.
It's a Absolute Power tie-in. Absolute Power, the current big crossover from DC Comics. Oh, the new dynamic duo of Wonder Woman and Robin.
Yes, it's Damian Robin. Well, yeah, it's Wonder Woman and a Robin story. And then number 4 is Jenny Sparks #1. This is also written by Tom King. This could be pretty interesting. Captain Atom goes rogue.
Isn't he always rogue?
Wasn't he like supposed to be the bad guy in something else also, and it turned out to be Hawk or something?
Yeah, that was I think that was Armageddon 2001.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be Captain Atom.
It was supposed to be Captain Atom, but it leaked.
Yeah.
So they pulled an audible.
And they did Hawk.
And they did
Hawk.
And
much
it
to
didn't
Kevin's
And
chagrin.
it didn't make any sense.
I also wrote a note about Rogue here because the Rouge incident is a famous Funny Books incident where someone called Rogue Rouge.
Yes.
Do you have Rouge comics?
Captain Atom goes Rouge.
So anyway, I had to do a little thing about Jenny Sparks, right? Really quickly.
We open in 2 minutes.
It's
now.
okay. It's not like people are banging the door down.
Apparently, last time we went over, Kaz was sitting out there.
I know.
Why aren't you open?
I know. So Jenny Sparks, by the way, the character is the spirit of the 20th century. Mm-hmm. She's born January 1st, 1990, and dies December 31st, 1999. She controls electricity. That's her power. She first appeared in Storm.
Wow, that's coincidence, given that her name is Sparks.
Right. I didn't know what she did, honestly. Listen, I had no idea. That's why I wanted to look into this. She first appeared in Stormwatch, dude. Volume 2, number 37, July 1996, 4 years after Funny Books opened. Created by Warren Ellis, who was canceled in 2020, by
Which
the way.
at the time was not a DC comic.
Right, it was a Wildstorm comic published by Image.
Published by Image, yeah.
So, and the artist of it was Tom Rainey. Who's been a funny Rama guest, shopped at Funny Books in the past. The series ended with the deaths of most of the characters not created by Ellis. That's hilarious. He killed everyone but his own characters. And then led into The Authority, which James Gunn is doing with his new batch of DC initiatives. And the team The Authority features the eponymous team led by Sparks. Mark Millar, not Miller, because there's only one Miller in comics, and it's Frank Miller, took over Authority in number 13, and I had to look up the word eponymous, because who the hell knows what that means? Do you know what that means?
Eponymous.
It's hard to use in a sentence, but it's named after the specified person, place, or thing. Usually it's founder, creator, inventor, or discoverer. So in this case, The Authority, the name of it is named after what they do.
Being in charge of things?
I don't understand eponymous.
Right. Oh, in this case, it means...
The Authority.
It means the title of the book is the title of the team. The X-Men is the eponymous team in the comic book X-Men.
Right. So, in other words, the Action Figure Kingdom isn't the eponymous name of the good guys. They're different...
Yes.
Something like that. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that was a tough one. There's one more definition coming up here that I'm going to ask you about. Don't look ahead. So number
I'm not
three,
looking ahead.
number
I'm looking at the time.
Number 3 this week, Wednesday, will be Superman 17, another Absolute Power tie-in featuring Zatanna.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, number 2.
I lost where we were. Oh, here we go. Ah, yes, Ultimate Spider-Man number 8, written
Yep.
by Jonathan Hickman.
Yep.
Another great writer.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What happens here?
Sinister Six.
So, ooh, Ultimate
And
Sinister Six.
Spidey's teamed up with the Green Goblin in this one.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, I think the Sinister Six, maybe it's going to be good guys.
Well,
Is Spidey kind of a
well,
fringe?
Green Goblin isn't necessarily a bad guy.
Yeah.
In
Right. Oh, okay.
in this, they're working together basically. Just to give a quick rundown without going into too much specifics, because people should be reading it.
Yeah.
But essentially, Spider-Man's costume and Green Goblin, who is Harry Osborn, not Norman Osborn.
Okay.
He's got a Green Goblin costume. Both of their costumes are Stark Tech, and they're like both working together. Different types of Stark Tech, but they're sort of working together.
Stark Tech sounds like Star Trek.
They're working together to try to figure out the ins and outs of the technology of their suits.
Okay. Yeah, because I just see Iron Man in it. Number
with the help of Harry Osborn's employee, Dr. Octavius.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool.
I wonder if that's going to lead anywhere.
Hickman is spinning a wild yarn over there. So, speaking of Hickman, our number 1 title this week is also written by Hickman, and it returns Greg Capullo to the art of a Marvel comic.
Yes.
It is Wolverine Revenge number 1. There's also a red band polybagged edition, which is a bloodier cut with exclusive pages, elevated violence, and it's polybagged for protection of innocent eyes. It features, the whole series will feature Wolverine versus a cadre of foes.
Do you need to look up the word cadre?
I did look up cadre because it's not a word you hear often or is used, and I like looking up words. It's fun. And I like using I use a lot of words in Action Figure Kingdom. I always want to do a glossary at the end of Action Figure Kingdom. It's a middle grade reading thing anyway. So, I loved when I was a kid reading comics, and I loved getting the vocabulary test and just knowing every word on it without studying because I read comic books.
Right.
And I like doing that in my own middle grade
Studies
comic.
have showed comic books have higher vocabulary levels than novels, regular novels
of
the same age
wow.
audience.
Wow.
Yes.
Probably because of all the science and, techno jargon and stuff.
I think it's because comics are cooler.
Comics are cooler. So cadre, do you know what cadre is?
Yeah, like a group.
Yeah, it's a small group of people specially trained for a particular purpose or profession. Like me and you, although we're not specially trained to do this.
In fact, it's probably the opposite.
Yes, and in fact, I didn't write the end where I'm supposed to say goodbye. How do I do that again?
Well, you shouldn't have to write it. You should be able to say goodbye without
All
writing
right,
it.
well, we are running late, so don't forget to turn your Sunday into ZUNDAY.
Kabingi!